Support for Radio Friends comes from Columbia Healthy Smiles, the dental office of husband and wife team Dr. Batson and Dr. Abe, offering comprehensive and customized care to patients of all ages. Learn more by calling 573-721-9039 or online at www.columbiahealthysmiles.com. Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on this last day of March 31, 2021. And we've got almost a stranger, but I don't want you to become a stranger. Jane Williams. And Jane, you had been on with us so many times in the past, but it's been a little while since you've been back in the studio. In fact, the last time you were here, we were talking about Love Inc. It's still the same organization, but you have a new name now called Love Columbia.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We're now Love Columbia. We rebranded and we moved to a new building downtown, 1209 East Walnut, that we're calling the Love Columbia Center. So Love Columbia is, as Paul said, really the same organization. We are no longer affiliated with a national organization. We felt like we wanted to keep all our resources local. They were making some changes that would have meant we send some of our resources more than we felt comfortable with. So we want to be local. We want to help people. We've always had it in our heart to just love Columbia. We were Love Inc. of Columbia.
Yeah.
So we just took out some of the letters, basically.
You took out the ink, and now you're Love Columbia.
Just Love Columbia.
But you're the same organization. You're helping as many or more people than you were before. So explain to folks what Love Columbia is.
All right. Well, Love Columbia started in 2008 to really connect people in Columbia, connect relationships and resources to love people forward is what we like to say. And you think, what does that mean? Well, it just means that we meet with people in Columbia, primarily those who are struggling to make ends meet or to find a path forward to a better life.
Now, is this primarily for people in Columbia or people in Boone County or surrounding areas?
We primarily help people in Columbia. Honestly, Paul, we found out that that's about all we could handle, but we have talked with people and are helping groups in Jefferson City, up in Salisbury area, in Montgomery City, St. Joseph. Others have also been looking at the model that we have of matching volunteers in the community and matching community resources with needs. So it's basically a central clearinghouse, we call it, where calls come in, referrals come in of people, mostly people who are struggling in some way to cover their basic expenses or to just create a plan forward. Maybe they don't have stable housing, they don't have a stable job, but they don't have anyone in their life to help navigate them forward. So at Love Columbia, you don't have to have a certain diagnosis, you don't have to have a certain demographic. There's no specific situation. It's just, do you feel like that you need people in your life to come alongside you and help you improve your life?
And how are some of the ways that you have reached out and helped people who have needed it?
Well, we actually did more services, provided more services in 2020 than we ever had before because people were in dire need.
Right, with the pandemic,
yes.
it was...
Yes.
Hopefully this year will be better.
Yes. So we served over double the number of people, and particularly people who became homeless. That was one of the most startling differences we saw right after the shutdown came. Within a week or so of the shutdown, we had 23 families. Most of those were with children, or else there was someone with a disability involved, in hotels because they had suddenly become homeless.
23 families you put in hotels?
Yes.
Because they lost their house because they couldn't pay the rent or they couldn't pay the mortgage?
Now, some of them were already living in hotels, but they were in a pay-by-the-week hotel. That is where often people live when they're in transition, or they have a poor rental history, so it's hard for them to get someone to rent to them. But they're very vulnerable. They don't have a lease. They didn't have any of the protections of the pandemic. So if they lost their job, which many did at the initial phase, and even some continue to have trouble reclaiming jobs because they haven't all fully opened up, they couldn't pay the next week's rent. So we were getting calls from weekly hotels. We were getting calls from the police. One night in the rain, the police called and said, "We've just dropped a woman with infant twins off at this hotel. Can you pay for it?" There was nowhere to go. The shelters were closed. And even when they reopened, they used many of their rooms for quarantine rooms. So for most of 2020, there was just we already in the best of times don't have enough places for people with housing instability, but it was a real critical issue.
Go back to that the call from the police officer. He called you in the middle of the night saying...
It was actually about 9 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock at night. That's the middle of the night for me. Okay. And said they had just dropped a mother and an infant off at a hotel. Can you pay for this?
Well, they knew that we were already helping. It wasn't like that was unprecedented, so they assumed we would. But
did the hotel accept them?
Yes.
Not knowing whether they were going to be paid or not?
No, we called and said we would pay. Because this was a domestic violence situation now, and the shelters were full. So you had people that were already unstably housed in hotels. Then you had people that the tempers flared. Everybody is now at home. There's a lot of stress. So there was some of that. They were doubled up. And then some families that were doubled up with other families couldn't keep all the kids at home after school shut down.
Right. You know, those are all things that many people went through and are still going through. That if we are blessed enough to have food on our table and a roof over our head and, God willing, continue to have good health, we don't see that. We don't see that. But if we are in that situation, it is up to us to hopefully reach out and help in ways the best that you can. And that's what you're doing at Love Inc.
We provide housing coaching, job search coaching, just finding life purpose. Financial coaching is one of our main things to help people. And many people are wanting to become more financially stable after what they've been through. So we're getting more requests for, can you help me build my credit? Can you help me get a better job? And so a lot of this has been a wake-up call for all sectors, honestly. But we did have many generous donors, and that's how we made it through, because we helped 101 homeless families find permanent housing last year and put about 14 in our own transitional homes. We doubled our number of transitional homes that are all donated to us, loaned to us, from 3 to 6. So Columbia stepped up, and that's what's made it possible for us to continue going, and we'd love for you to find out more. Come visit us.
Yeah, you're so good, Jane. You are so good. So if people want more information, it's lovecolumbiamo.org. And you can make a donation online there, too.
Thank you.
All right, will you come back?
Yes.
All right. You're great. You're a wonderful lady. Thank you so much, Jane Williams.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye-bye.